I don't know about his camera's name.
I don't know. It's nice of him to loan it to us. So, Dad, this is something that we should have done a long time ago.
Yes, it is.
How long have you owned your 1974 Corvette?
Since May of '74.
How did you come to? How did you decide this is the car that you wanted to own?
I rode by a dealership, and I saw one there.
Yeah.
And I just said, "This is car for me."
Nice.
And then I just started looking.
So you were. So that would have been in 1973.
Yes.
So you decided. Did you consider other cars?
No.
No. So at the time you were working
Yes.
and traveling all over the world,
Yeah.
and had a wife and 2 young kids.
Yes, right.
So you decided that a car that had 2 seats was perfect for you,
That's right.
seeing that you traveled all over the world and had 2 kids.
And I was going to use it for my business too.
Right. So a lot of people would say that you needed a bigger car,
Yeah.
one that other people could ride in, but I guess if you plan to keep it forever, you got exactly what you wanted.
Well, I didn't buy it, especially just for my #1 car.
Right.
Because a family car, we had a family car.
Right.
So this was sort of for business, and I guess maybe an ego that I had for one.
No one has ever accused you of having an ego, but I guess we've all got them.
Yeah.
So you were looking at Corvettes,
Yes.
and did you find this one on a lot at a dealer?
After about 7 or 8 months.
Well, but you had to order it, didn't you?
No, I went by there and saw it, and then ordered it.
So you.
For me. No,
So you,
he had it on the lot.
well, he had a '74, but not this one. You ordered this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So at the time they offered a big block,
Yes.
the 454, and they offered a 4-speed,
Yes.
and they offered a convertible,
Yeah.
and then they offered this motor is actually more rare than the big block,
Yes.
because this is the 350 that has 250 horsepower.
Yeah.
And in 1974, the horsepower had started to go down. And I guess knowing you were going to drive it all over the Southeast, you figured an automatic would be a little easier.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, did you drive it every day?
Practically.
Yeah. So the car today has, I think, almost 300,000 miles.
Yes.
Yeah, 298
Yeah.
and change. And I know that when we show it, it's a lot of fun to tell people that it's got 298,000 miles on it
Yes.
and sits on the original tires.
That's right.
And I guess that's hard to understand until we explain to them that when you bought it, you bought a set of the aluminum wider wheels and took the originals off.
Right.
And saved them until we put them back on just a couple years ago.
You know, one of the other things that's sort of hard to believe is that the interior is still original.
It is
That
original.
it's lasted through all of this driving now.
That's a lot of miles and a lot of years.
It is.
Well, it's got a special license plate on it, and I
Yeah.
know you've had that since about the same time you got the car.
Yes.
What does PoBoy mean?
Well, it's the work that I had. I was negotiating labor agreements, and I was usually viewed in those days as a company man, and I was working with the union, which was the employees, representative. And what I wanted to do is the general opinion of company negotiators were they were arrogant, and just thieves and everything else, taking everything away. And I wanted to let them know that we were working and that I was just a PoBoy too.
Yeah, I hear you. Even though you drove a yellow Corvette. And
Yeah.
well, what is after all these years? What does the car mean to you?
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been around a long time.
It has.
And I guess, in the last 10 years or so, we've really had a lot of fun getting it back into almost the same shape that it was in
That's right.
when you took delivery in 1974.
That's right.
What are some of your fonder memories of the car over the years? Outside of all those miles, and I know you enjoyed every mile. I know for a fact that this was the first car that I saw 150 miles an hour in, and you made me promise never to tell Mom, and I never did. So, and that was in on a back road in Georgia somewhere, coming back from an Atlanta Braves baseball game, I think. You have any fond memories that you can reach out and grab? And
Well, I have, when we talk about speed there, I was going down to the Outer Banks, and the way you go in those days, you go through the route where you drive down and down by the canals and all like that. And the canals or the road through there was just perfectly straight.
mm-hmm.
And no cars, never see any cars. And I decided I'd see how fast it would go.
And what'd you find out?
168.
168. Wow.
And the opposite said, that wasn't all of it. But I said, ho. If anything happens, I'll be in the ocean. So
or the sound at least leading out to the ocean. So, well, that's pretty quick.
It was.
I guess you could see a long ways ahead and see if anything was coming.
Oh, Lord, yes.
And I guess at that point, if you saw a blue light, it really didn't matter.
No.
Any other memories that you have? I know you rode, before you got the Corvette, I know you rode Harley Davidsons.
Yes.
And you were always fond of getting those from the North Carolina Highway Patrol.
Yes.
And they were kind enough to sell them to you more than once that still had the lights and the noisemakers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you had to pick a preference, riding those Harleys all those years until you got the Corvette, or driving the Corvette, which one? I know it's hard to choose, and I know you've got good memories from both, but compare the two a little bit.
I think you didn't. They're two separate. You need to have both. I guess what I'm saying
Right.
is to satisfy yourself. One won't satisfy the other. I know the Corvette was more pleasurable in driving, distances.
Yeah.
And the Harley was, like within, 200 or 300 miles or
Right.
something like that. That's what I saw the difference.
Right. Well, I remember when I was really young, riding on the Harley, and when we would go to your mother's house,
Yeah.
which was about an hour away, and I can remember sleeping most of the way home on the Harley.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very vivid memory.
Yes, it is.
But I think an even more vivid memory was telling Mom when I got home that I had slept most of the way on the motorcycle.
I know.
And what really resonated with me, outside of her response when I told her that, was later on when you told me not to tell Mom that we had been 150 miles an hour.
That's right.
And I, even though I was very young, I remember how she responded when I told her I slept on the motorcycle. So even at that age, I knew that when you said don't tell her about how fast we went, that I wouldn't dream of telling her, because I didn't want to get that same reaction again.
That's right.
So do you drive the Corvette much these days? I know that you haven't driven it recently, say in the last year.
I still drive it some. Right here, I say within the last 2 or 3 months, not much.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I know at 86, you've enjoyed your convertible, Mercedes convertible,
Oh, yes.
also over the years, and that might be a little better car to tool around town in. And I know that when we went to Cars and Coffee last month in this car, that we got a nice response from all our local car people.
Yeah, they have a lot of respect for it.
Well, I think that they have a lot of respect for the car. You know, at 43 years old, and I think they have a lot of respect for you, for ordering it just the way you wanted it and keeping it in good shape over the years, and still enjoying it.
I don't really think then that you would really find very many cars like that that was single owner.
You could probably count them on one hand in this neck of the woods, in this part of North Carolina. So I see you've got a trophy there.
Yeah, yes.
I know that was a culmination of our hard work last year when the AACA had their national meet here in New Bern, and we got it cleaned up and took it over, and we won a first junior, I think that is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is, a first junior. So when we win our first senior, we can retire from the show circuit. It was fun that evening at the awards dinner. I know we were sitting there, and one of the ladies at the table complimented you on winning at the national level. Do you remember what you told her?
I can't remember right now.
Well, I remember it vividly. She said, "Mr. Waters, it's got to be special to win, you know, right here in your backyard with a car you've owned so long, a first place at the national level." And I guess she didn't know your history with the car, but you very kindly explained to her that over the years that you've come to expect to win just about every time you take the car out of the garage.
Yeah.
And I explained to her that wasn't boasting if it was true, and it was true.
Yeah. Because we put a lot of time and effort in it.
Well, we have over the years. In fact, if you'll remember, for that show last year, we found a brand new old stock 1974 Firestone steel belted radial 500.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were ready for the show, and we come out and one of them had completely disintegrated.
Yes. Yeah.
So we were
lucky.
lucky.
More.
Yeah, those are pretty tough to find.
That's right.
Well, good. I know it's a little chilly out here, so let's wrap it up,
Okay.
and we'll
Sounds good.
go in and see what we've got. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Good seeing you.